Hi everyone, welcome to Go Classes. In this lecture, we will study normal forms of context-free grammars. So we need to study two important normal forms, that are Chomsky normal form and Grebec normal form. So in this lecture, we will study these two, Chomsky normal form and Grebec normal form. In the previous lecture, we have already seen how to simplify a context-free grammar, how to remove useless productions, how to remove null productions, how to remove unit productions. So you can see simplification of grammar, simplification of context-free grammar that we have seen in the previous lecture. In this lecture, our main focus will be on CNF. This is very important for the GATE exam, CNF, Chomsky normal form. Okay, this Grebec normal form also we will see. This is not very important, but we will see this Grebec normal form also. Okay, and there is a membership algorithm for context-free grammars. This is not important for the GATE exam, but we will see some details about this algorithm also. Okay, so this is the agenda for this lecture. I can say in this lecture we will focus mainly on the Chomsky normal form. Okay, so basically we need to study normal forms of context-free grammars. Okay, and this is what we have seen in the previous lecture, simplification of context-free grammar. So you can see in the previous lecture we have seen how to simplify a context-free grammar by removing useless productions, by removing null productions, by removing unit productions. This is what we have already seen. Now in this lecture we will focus on Chomsky normal form and also the Grebec normal form. Okay, now let's see what is a normal form of context-free grammar. We already know what is a context-free grammar. Now I'm asking what is a normal form of a context-free grammar. So the definition is very simple. Normal form of context-free grammar. This is basically context-free grammar in a special format. That is called normal form. What it means? It means every production will have a special form. Okay, let me explain. See, this is your context-free grammar, and this is your context-free grammar in the normal form. So you can see what normal form simply means. This simply means that your context-free grammar has a special format. Okay, so very simple point. Remember, if you see, if your context-free grammar definition, context-free grammar G, it has total four components. Okay, there are variables, there are alphabet symbols, that is terminals. These are non-terminals, these are terminals. Okay, we have production rules, and there is a start variable. Correct. Now if you look at the production rules, if you look at the production rules of context free grammar, then the rules are like this, that there is a variable v, and that is going to any sequence of variable or terminals. Yes or no? Any sequence of variables comma terminals. So this is the production rules of a context free grammar. Now you can see on the right side there is no restriction. Can you notice that on the RHS, you can see on RHS of any production, on RHS of any production rule in context free grammar, we have we have no restriction. Yes or no? You can put any sequence of variable comma terminal. I can say we have no restrictions. Okay, so because we have no restrictions, so what can happen? Any messy, I can say, context free grammar can be created. For example, this type of productions can be created. For example, you can see variable a, this is going to something like a b a, okay, s. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? So very simple point, I am saying that you can see this type of messy productions can be created, because you can see on the RHS there is no restriction. So this is the definition of context free grammar. In the context free grammar, the production rules, these are the production rules. We have single variable which is going to any sequence of variable comma terminals. On the RHS of any production rule there is no restriction, and because there is no restriction on the RHS, so we can create this type of, I can say, this type of messy production rules. This type of messy rules can be created. Okay, this is what I'm saying, that this is your context free grammar in which you can have production rules which can be messy. Okay, this type of production rules you can have. Yes or no? Random production rules which can be very messy. Okay, so what is a normal form? You can see context free grammar is in a normal form. Context free grammar in a normal form, that is basically some special, I can say, some special format we follow. Very simple point. I hope you understood. So remember, normal form of a context free grammar, what that means? That means context free grammar in a special format. We follow a special format. Okay, every production has a special form. Now there are many normal forms, remember, but two important normal forms that we have in the syllabus, these are Chomsky normal form and Grebec normal form. We will call them Chomsky normal form CNF and Grebec normal form GNF. Okay, so these are the two important normal forms that we need to study. And this CNF, this is very important. This GNF, this is less important. So we will spend a lot of time on CNF, but we will see the required details of GNF also. Okay, so I hope you understood. So we need to study these two normal forms, Chomsky normal form and Grebeck normal form, one by one. So let's start with Chomsky normal form. Now we will study Chomsky normal form. We will call it CNF. C means Chomsky normal form. Okay. So what is the definition of Chomsky normal form? Read this definition. A context-free grammar is in Chomsky normal form. When can I say that a context-free grammar is in Chomsky normal form? If all the productions have this format. Okay, basically all the productions must have this format where a variable is going to two variables or a variable is going to terminal. Okay, so only this type of productions we allow. Remember, a context-free grammar is in Chomsky normal form if all the productions, if every production has this format, a single variable which is going to two variables or a variable going to single terminal. So only this is what we allow. So you can see that every production must have this form, variable going to two variables or variable going to single terminal. Okay, consider this example. This is not in Chomsky normal form, this grammar. Look at this grammar here. You can see variable going to two variable. This is fine. This production is fine. But you can see this production is not allowed. Yes or no? Variable going to three variable. This is not allowed. So you can see this is not in Chomsky normal form. This context-free grammar. This is not in Chomsky normal form. Remember, this is also context-free grammar. This is also context-free grammar because on the LHS we have single variable. Okay. But you can see this context-free grammar is not in the Chomsky normal form. Okay, you can see because of this, also because of this, in the Chomsky normal form we do not allow this, that a variable is going to two terminals. This we don't allow. Okay, understand that in the Chomsky normal form every production has this format, a variable going to a single terminal or a variable going to two variables. Okay, you can see this is in Chomsky normal form. Okay, here variable going to two variables, variable going to single terminal, variable going to two variables, variable going to single terminal. So you can see this is in Chomsky normal form. Understood? Let me know. So very simple point. Two type of productions we allow where variable going to two variables or variable going to single terminal. Now consider these two grammars. Are they in Chomsky normal form? Let me know. Here you have a context-free grammar. Let me call it G. So tell me, is this in Chomsky normal form? Please tell me. This is a context-free grammar G. So here you can easily see this variable going to two variable, 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 variable going to single terminal, variable going to single terminal. So yes, this is in Chomsky normal form. Yes or no? So you can see this context-free grammar G is in Chomsky normal form. Okay. Similarly, look at this grammar on your screen. This context-free grammar, let's call it G2. So here also you can easily see that this is also in Chomsky normal form. Okay, yes or no? This is also in Chomsky normal form. Very simple, because variable going to two variable, two variable, two variable, variable going to two variable, variable going to single terminal, variable going to single terminal. Okay, so both are in Chomsky normal form. I hope you understood. Let me know, is the definition clear? So remember, very simple, when can I say a context free grammar? You have a context free grammar. When can I say this is in Chomsky normal form? This is in Chomsky normal form. I can say this context free grammar is in Chomsky normal form if every production is like this: variable going to two variables or variable going to a single terminal. Okay, this should be a single terminal and we must have variable going to two variables. Okay, is this clear? Let me know. Now, let me ask you a question. In Chomsky normal form, we are only allowed these productions, variable going to two variable or variable going to terminal. Okay, so tell me, you think about it and let me know, can a Chomsky normal form generate empty string? Read this. Can a context-free grammar in Chomsky normal form generate empty string? Can you generate empty string? Simple question, let me know. Because remember, in Chomsky normal form, what we allow, only two type of productions are allowed. Okay, we have allowed only two type of productions where a variable going to two variables or a variable going to a single terminal. Okay, so now you tell me, is it possible you can derive empty string in the Chomsky normal form if you have a context-free grammar? If you have a context-free grammar G in Chomsky normal form, okay, let's assume this grammar you have, there is a start variable. This grammar you have where you have a start variable, okay, and so this is what your grammar is. Okay, so you tell me, can we generate empty string from here? The answer is no. Yes or no? We can never generate empty string, because you can easily see that we only allow these productions. You can see variable going to single terminal, variable going to two variables. Yes or no? So you can easily see that this production is not allowed. In the Chomsky normal form, v going to epsilon, this production is not allowed. Agree? Yes or no? So very simple point. Remember that if your grammar is in Chomsky normal form, then can we generate empty string? The answer is no. Okay, because you can easily see that this type of production where variable going to empty string, this type of production is not allowed in Chomsky normal form. Is not allowed in Chomsky normal form. Is this point clear? So it is a very simple point that if your grammar is in Chomsky normal form, then can we generate empty string? The answer is no, because you can see this is the definition of Chomsky normal form. Productions are of the form variable going to two variable or variable going to single terminal, where this is a terminal. Okay, what it means? It simply means that it belongs to sigma. It belongs to sigma. Okay, so very simple point. Now, let me tell you that we cannot generate empty string that you got. Okay. So here, this is a important point that if you have a context-free grammar G, any context-free grammar G you take, we can convert it into a grammar in Chomsky normal form such that language will be language minus empty string. Basically, in the Chomsky normal form, we cannot generate empty string. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, that if you have a context-free grammar, you can convert it into Chomsky normal form, but what will happen? Empty string will be eliminated. Okay, empty string will be eliminated. The remaining language will be same, I can say. Okay, so let's see what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you have a context-free grammar, let's assume you take any context-free grammar, you take any context-free grammar G, okay, and let's assume the language is L. Okay, now for any context-free grammar G, what we can do? We can convert it into CNF. Remember, we can convert this into CNF. Okay, we can convert into CNF. We can convert. We can convert into CNF. Okay, but what will happen? This new grammar that you will get, let me call it, for example, G2. Okay, so you can see this any context-free grammar we can convert into CNF, but what will happen? The language of this G2, that will be basically L minus empty string. Okay, is this clear? Basically, empty string will be eliminated. Other than that, everything will be same. Okay, is this clear? Let me know. So you can easily see for any context-free grammar, there exists a Chomsky normal form such that the language of Chomsky normal form will be L minus empty string. Okay. Now remember, if your grammar does not generate empty string, then nothing will be eliminated. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? If you have a context-free grammar, let's assume you have a context-free grammar, and for this grammar, let's assume the language is L. Okay, the language of this grammar is L. Okay, now you can easily see, assume, and let's assume if empty string does not belong to L, then you tell me what we can do. We can convert into Chomsky normal form without any tension. Yes or no? Agree? What we can do? We can convert into Chomsky normal form. We can convert into Chomsky normal form. Let me call it G2. Okay, now the language will be same. Yes or no? Is this clear? We can convert into Chomsky normal form. Now the language will be same, because already the empty string does not belong to the language of this context-free grammar. So here can I say the language will be same? Agree? Please tell me. Okay. And remember, if empty string belongs to L, then what I can say? Then I can say that the language will be L minus empty string. Okay. Is this point clear? Please tell me. So this is what we are saying. Read this statement, that every context-free grammar can be converted into Chomsky normal form Okay, such that the language of Chomsky normal form will be L minus empty string. So when you convert any context free grammar, if you take, when you convert it into Chomsky normal form, basically what will happen, the empty string will be eliminated. Okay, the empty string will be eliminated, very simple, everything else will be same, remember. Okay, so very simple point. For every context free grammar, there is a Chomsky normal form. There is a context free grammar in Chomsky normal form, such that the language of Chomsky normal form will be language of the grammar G minus empty string. Is this point clear? Let me know. Now let's see conversion of context free grammar to Chomsky normal form. How can we convert a context free grammar to Chomsky normal form? Let me tell you the step number one. The step number one is we remove all the null productions, all the unit productions, and all the useless variables and useless productions. This is the step number one. In the previous lecture, we have already seen how to remove all the null productions, unit production, useless variable, useless productions. Okay, so this we have already seen in the previous lecture. This is the step number one for context free grammar to CNF. That is, you remove all the null productions, unit production, and useless variables and useless productions. Okay, now after that, what we need to do? Let's understand with the help of example. Consider this example. You can easily see this is not in Chomsky normal form. This is a context free grammar, but this is not in the Chomsky normal form, because you can see in the Chomsky normal form, this is not allowed, this is not allowed, this is not allowed. Yes or no? Okay, so these productions, these are not allowed in the Chomsky normal form. So you can see this is not in Chomsky normal form. Now let's convert this into Chomsky normal form. What is the step number one? Step number one is remove all the null productions, unit productions, and useless variables. Tell me here, do you have any null production? Tell me, in this grammar, do you have any null production? No, there is no null production. Is there any unit production? There is no unit production. Is there any useless variable, useless production? The answer is no. You can see from the variable as a comma b are reachable, and you can see from a also you can generate a string, and from b also you can generate a string. So you can easily see that here we do not have any undesired production. We do not have null production, we do not have unit production, we do not have useless production. Okay, now what we can do, we need to convert this into Chomsky normal form. But remember, in the Chomsky normal form, what is allowed? Let me know. In Chomsky normal form, you just keep in mind what is allowed. In Chomsky normal form, only two type of productions are allowed, where you can see variable going to variable, or variable going to a single terminal. Yes or no? These are allowed. So you can see these productions are not allowed in the Chomsky normal form. So what we are going to do, let me tell you. Very simple. You can see in the Chomsky normal form, we have this type of productions where variable going to terminal. Yes or no? In the Chomsky normal form, this type of productions we have variable going to single terminal. So what we will do, for every terminal, we will create a separate production. Okay, for every terminal, like for terminal A, I will create a separate production. It will be like this. I will create a variable VA, which is going to A. I will create a variable VB, new variable VB I will create, which will go to B. I will create a variable VC, which will go to C. So you can easily see for every terminal symbol, I am creating a new variable, because you can see in the Chomsky normal form, we have this type of production. Variable going to a single terminal, or variable going to two variable. So you can easily see that for every terminal, we are creating new variable, or I can say for every terminal, we are creating productions. Okay, is this clear? So this we will do for every terminal symbol. For every terminal symbol, this is what we will do. Okay, now after doing this, what we will do, what are the next step? Now these a b, these we will replace with these variables. Okay, now what we will get like this: a b, you can see this a I can replace with va, this a going to va vb. Yes or no? va vb. Okay, agree. Next you can see this b going to AVC. Is this clear? Now, still you can see these productions are in the CNF. Yes or no? These productions are in the CNF, but these are not in CNF. Okay, these are still not in CNF. Now we need to do something. Now you can easily do what we will do. Here you can easily see that every variable going to variables, every variable going to variables, variable going to variables. Okay, remember this is allowed in CNF. Yes or no? So we don't have to worry about it. Okay, this is allowed in CNF. So I can say that these two are not allowed in CNF. Okay, because you can easily see this is allowed in CNF. Correct. Here we do not have to do anything. This is allowed in CNF. Okay, so what we need to do? We need to take care of these two. Okay, how to take care? Very simple point. So we have this S going to ABVA and A going to VA, VA, VB. Okay, now you can notice that in the CNF, what we allow, you already know that in CNF, we have this type of rules where a variable going to two variables. Okay, yes or no? Variable going to two variables. So here you can see variable going to three variables, here variable going to three variables. So what you can do here, very simple point, this variable I should go to two variables. So what I can do, I can replace this, I can make a new variable v1. Okay, what I will do, notice, I will make a variable v1 and this v1 will go to bva. Now you can see this is allowed in CNF. Yes or no? This is allowed in CNF. Very simple point. Okay, now what I can do, I can write it as going to AV1. These are allowed in CNF. The same thing I will do with the variable A. You can see this variable A I will send to two variables. So what I will do, I can write it, I can replace this, or I can basically make a production here for variable v2. I can make a new variable v2. Okay, so it will be like this. Remember, v2 will go to what? V2 will go to VA, VB, and then you can see that A will go to VA, V2. Okay, is this clear? Now you can notice these are all are allowed in CNF. Yes or no? These are all are allowed in CNF. So that's it. This is your final answer. I hope you understood. So let me tell you the final answer. The final answer will be in CNF we are converting this grammar. Remember, this grammar is not in CNF. You can easily see this grammar is not in CNF. Okay, and we want to convert this into CNF. Just remember what we allow in CNF. In CNF, only two type of productions are allowed, where variable going to two variable or variable going to a single terminal. Okay, is this clear? So this is what we are going to do step by step. Tell me what we will do. Let me know. Very simple point. The first thing we will do, for every terminal we will create a production. Yes or no? So we will create a production for terminal C. It's like VC going to C. Okay, next VA going to A, VB going to B. Yes or no? For every terminal we will create a production. So like this we can create productions for terminals. Then what we are going to do, then we will replace this A with VA, this AAB with VA, VA, VB. Okay, and this with AVC. Yes or no? Now this we have already seen. So I will write like this, that I will create a new variable v1, and this variable v1, where it will go? This variable v1, it will go to bva. Okay, you can see this variable v1 is going to bva, and your start variable, that will go to what? That will go to av1. You can see that will go to av1. Okay, the same thing I will do here. Remember, I will create v2, which will go to va, vb. You can see v2 is going to va, vb, and remember this variable a, this is going to what? This is going to va, v2. Okay, so that's it. So finally you got your answer. Okay, I can write it step by step. Va going to a, vb going to b, and vc going to c. So this will be your final answer. Is this point clear? Please tell me. Like this you can convert a context free grammar into CNF. Let me know. This is the final CNF that we will get. This is the final answer. Understood? Is this point clear? Let me know. So this is a very simple point. Remember, this grammar is not in Chomsky normal form because these productions are not allowed in Chomsky normal form. This production is also not allowed in Chomsky normal form. So step by step we will do. What the first step? I told you. The first step is for every terminal we will create productions. Yes or no? For every terminal we will create variables. You can create, for example, you can create VA or you can create TA. That is, name is not important. Yes or no? So you can do, basically for every terminal you will create productions. For every terminal you will create variables. Okay, like this we have created va, vb. You can see what we have done. We have done va, vb, vc. Okay, or you can do ta, tb, tc. Name does not matter. Okay, then we will we will write this we will write as ABTA. This we will write TATATB. Okay, like this. And finally we will basically convert, and your final answer, you can see that this will be your final answer in the Chomsky normal form. So this grammar you can convert in Chomsky normal form like this. I hope this is clear. Let me know. Is this clear? So very simple point. Now, very simple point that, so let me tell you that example. If your context free grammar, let's assume in the context free grammar you have this type of production, that S is going to, for example, let's see, S going to something like S going to some A, B, A, D. Okay, like this. Then tell me what you will do here. Let me know. If this type of production you have, this is not allowed in the CNF, yes or no? Okay, so how to convert it into CNF? Remember how to convert this into CNF. The method is very simple. For every terminal we will create a new variable. So we will create a variable, remember, VA or TA, whatever you want for. Okay, so we will create a new variable for every terminal. And then what we will do, we will write it as going to A, B, TA, D. Still this is not allowed in CNF, yes or no? So still this is not allowed in CNF, so we will convert into CNF. And for that what we will do, we will do like this. Already we have TA going to A. Okay, but you can see here we have 4 variables, but we can have variable going to 2 variables. This is what we want. So what I can do here, very simple point. Okay, here I can do like this, that this I can call it V2. Okay, this I can write it by V2 variable. Okay, so V2 variable is going to TAD. And remember, I can write a variable v1. This will be my variable v1. This will be my variable v1. V1 will be going to b v2. Okay, yes or no? Because you can see this is v2, and v1 will be going to b v2, and finally s will be going to a v1. Okay, is this clear? So this is your Chomsky normal form. I hope you understood. Okay, I can give you this question as a homework. You can take it, or you can directly do. Actually, let me quickly do without explaining much. Let me write the answer. So you can see this is the grammar that is given to you: AA, BB, or B. You can see A going to B double A or BA, and you can see that B going to B, A B, and then AB. Okay, so this is the grammar. Now you can easily see this grammar is not in Chomsky normal form. Yes or no? Very easily you can see this is not in Chomsky normal form. Okay, because this is not in Chomsky normal form, what we will do, we will convert this into Chomsky normal form. Very simple point. Okay, so to convert this into Chomsky normal form, what are the things I will do? For every terminal I will create a variable. Okay, you can see for terminal A I will create a variable A. For terminal B I will create a variable B. Okay, so for every terminal I am creating a variable. Yes or no? These productions are allowed in CNF, that you already know. In CNF, variable can go to a single terminal, variable can go to a single terminal. So these are allowed. Okay, so this is what we have done. Now what the next thing, tell me? You can easily see here what will happen. S will go to what? Now you can see this A I can replace with VA. Yes or no? This A I can replace with VA. So I will get this VAA. Is this fine in CNF? Tell me. This production, is this allowed in CNF? Yes, this is allowed in CNF. So I don't have to do anything. Next, this B I can replace with VB. So you can see VB, B. This is also allowed in CNF. Yes or no? Very simple point. This is also allowed in CNF. Next, you can see this S can go to B. Okay, this is also allowed. I don't have to do anything. Yes or no? I don't have to do anything. This B, this is actually allowed in CNF. So here I don't have to do anything. Okay, what about the next thing? A going to where? A going to where? Let me know. A can go to where? So you can easily see A can go to here. What about this BA? Okay, what about this BA? I can write it VB, VA. Okay, this B I can replace with VB. This A I can replace with VA. This production is allowed in CNF. This production is fine. But you can see this production is not fine. So what I will do, very simple point. Here I will create a new variable V1, and this new variable will go to AA. But you can see this will be like this VA, VA. Because remember, this A I will replace with VA. This A I will replace with VA. So I will create a new variable V1 which will go to VA, VA. And finally this A will go to B V1. Okay, understood? Very simple. Now, what about this B? You can easily see this B. This B can go to AB. That is fine because this A I will replace with VA and this B I will replace with VB. Okay, so you can see I will get VA, VB. This is allowed. But you can see here, this will not be allowed. So, what I will do here, very simple point, I will create a new variable V2. I will create a new variable V2, or maybe I can create a new variable, for example v3. This variable v3 will go to ab. This variable v3, this will go to a, but remember this b I will replace with vb. Okay, so this variable v3 will go to a vb. Next you can see, so this will be your v2. Then I will create a v1 which will go to a v2. Yes or no? I will create a variable v2 which will go to where? Which will go to a v2. Yes or no? A v3. You can see this is v3. This is v3. Notice this is v3. I will create a new variable v2 which will go to a v3. Correct? Yes or no? And finally this b will go where? This will go to b v2. Okay, this will go to remember this b I will replace with vb. Okay, so this will go to vb v2. Okay, is this point clear? So this will be your final answer. That's it. This is how you can convert into CNF. So from context free grammar, converting it to CNF, that is very easy. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? Very easily you can convert context free grammar to CNF. Okay, so this is what we have seen. I hope you understood. Now let's move on now. So we have seen this. Let me ask you this question. Can a context free grammar in CNF be ambiguous? Is the CNF always unambiguous? These are two questions. Please tell me. Is it possible that context free grammar in CNF it can be ambiguous? Or can I say that CNF Chomsky normal form is always unambiguous? Let me tell you the answer. It can be ambiguous. It may or may not be ambiguous. So remember, is Chomsky normal form always unambiguous? The answer is no. Okay. And can Chomsky normal form be ambiguous? The answer is yes. Okay, so let me give you example. I will give you a Chomsky normal form which is ambiguous. So consider this example, like S is going to AB or CD. These productions, are they allowed in CNF? Yes, they are allowed. Variable going to two variable, variable going to two variable, these are allowed. You can see variable can go to a single terminal. This is allowed in CNF. Variable can go to a single terminal. Okay, variable can go to a single terminal. Variable can go to a single terminal. Okay, is this point clear? Let me know. Now you can easily see here, this grammar, is this ambiguous? Is this grammar ambiguous? Let me know. The answer is yes, this grammar is ambiguous, but this grammar is in CNF. See, this grammar is ambiguous. Why? Because you can notice this string AB has a two pass tree. Yes or no? This string AB has a two pass tree. Two pass trees. Okay, you can easily see what are the two pass trees. Those are like this: S can go to AB, and then A can go to A, B can go to B, or S can go to CD, then C can go to A, D can go to B. Okay, is this point clear? So remember, there will be two pass trees, T1, T2. So that is the reason this grammar is ambiguous, and you can see this grammar is in CNF. Yes or no? You can easily see this grammar is in CNF. So CNF grammar can be ambiguous. Do you agree with me? This is in CNF. Okay, because you can see all the production rules, they are in CNF. You can see variable going to two variable, variable going to two variable, variable going to single terminal. So you can see this grammar is in CNF, but this is ambiguous. Okay, is this point clear? So remember, if you have a CNF grammar, then remember it may or may not be ambiguous. Okay, you cannot say that every CNF is unambiguous. Okay, is this clear? Every CNF is unambiguous. This statement is false. So remember, this Chomsky normal form, this may or may not be ambiguous. So if you have a Chomsky normal form, then it may or may not be ambiguous. You cannot say that it is always unambiguous. Okay, very simple point. Tell me the answer for this question. True or false question. The past trees of strings generated by context-free grammar are always binary tree. The past trees of strings generated by context free grammar in CNF are always binary tree? Tell me the answer. See the first statement. This is saying the past trees of strings generated by a context free grammar are always binary tree. Is this statement true? No, this statement is false. See, this statement is saying that in context free grammar, can I say past tree will be a binary tree? Can I say past tree will always be a binary tree? This statement is false. Okay. So, but you can see past tree in a CNF. Past tree in a CNF. This is always binary tree. This statement is true. Okay, let's see the proof. First, I will give you the counter example for the statement number one. Basically, what the statement number one is saying, this is saying that in a context free grammar, past tree is always binary tree. This statement is false. And very easily, you can see that you can give a counter example. Okay, what counter example you can give? For example, S going to, you can see this context free grammar. Okay, I can give you this context free grammar ABA. Is this a context free grammar? First of all, you tell me that. Look at this grammar and tell me, is this a context free grammar? Yes, this is a CFG. Yes, this is a context free grammar. Now here you can see if I create the past tree, if I create past tree of this string AB double A, will I get a binary tree? Will I get a binary tree? No, I will not get a binary tree. I am not getting a binary tree. Yes or no? Here you can notice this S, this variable has 4 children. So you can see this is not a binary tree. Okay, is this point clear? Let me know. So very simple point. Because remember, what is a binary tree? What is the definition of binary tree? Binary tree. Binary tree is a rooted tree where basically there is a root node. Okay, there is a root node. And remember, every node has at most 2 children. Every node has at most 2 children. Like this node has at most 2 children. For example, this can have single children, single child. Maybe this can have 2 child. Maybe this can have single child. Okay, maybe this has no child, maybe this can have single child, maybe this has double child. Okay, this can have double child, and maybe this has single child, and maybe like this. Is this clear? So remember, binary tree means basically every node has at most 2 children. Every node has at most 2 children. This is the definition of binary tree. So you can easily see this is statement number one. What this is saying? This is saying that in a context free grammar, past tree is always binary tree. This statement is false because you can see this is a context free grammar. Here you have a single variable, and on the RHS we have sequence of terminal comma non-terminal. So you can see this is a context free grammar, but the past tree is not a binary tree. Here we have 4 children. So this is not a binary tree. Now look at the second statement. This is saying the past tree of CNF is always binary tree. This statement is true. The past tree of CNF, the past tree of CNF is always a binary tree. This statement is true. Why? What the reason? Let me know. Look at the past tree. Look at the past tree in CNF. Okay, look at any past tree in CNF. You can see that will be a binary tree. What is the reason? Because you can see in CNF what type of productions are allowed. Let me know. In CNF, you already know that only 2 type of productions are allowed, where a variable going to 2 variable, or a variable can go to where, or a variable can go to a single terminal. Yes or no? Only these productions are allowed, nothing else is allowed. So you can easily see if I create the past tree, what it will look like. The past tree will look like this. There is a start variable. We will start from the start variable. Remember, this start variable either it can go to single terminal. So this is a binary tree. Or what can happen? This can go to 2 variables. This can go to 2 variables. Okay, a variable can go to 2 variables. For example, this variable can go to 2 variables. Maybe this can go to a terminal. Okay, is this clear? Maybe this can go to a terminal. Maybe this can go to 2 variables. Maybe this can go to terminal. Maybe this can go to 2 variables. Maybe this can go to terminal. Maybe this can go to terminal. Okay, and maybe this is also terminal. Please tell me, is this point clear? Let me know. So you can see that in the past tree in CNF, what we are getting? We are getting a We are getting a binary tree. Is this point clear? Let me know. We are getting a binary tree. Okay, because you can see a variable can go to two variable or variable can go to single terminal. So you can never get, remember, in the cnf parse tree, can you get this type of situation? A very simple question I'm asking, can you get this type of situation? Let me know. Can you get this type of situation? This type of situation we can never get, because you can see a variable will either go to two variable or it will go to a single terminal. So you can easily see this type of situation is never possible. Is this clear? This type of situation is not possible. Not possible in parse tree in cnf. Okay, I hope this point is clear. So finally, let me tell you the note, that parse tree, or I can say derivation tree, another name for parse tree, that is derivation tree. Parse tree of strings generated by cnf grammar, these are always binary tree. Okay, is this clear? Very simple point. Parse trees for the strings which are generated by the context free grammar is in cnf, these are always binary tree. Okay, now let's see a very important point, a very important topic, that is length of every derivation in CNF. In Chomsky normal form, what is the length of every derivation? Let's start with one example. See this grammar and tell me, is this grammar is in CNF? Can I say this grammar is in Chomsky normal form? Yes, this is in Chomsky normal form. Variable going to two variable, variable going to single terminal, variable going to single terminal. So you can easily see this is in CNF. Okay, now let's see what are the derivations of string bc. Let's write the string bc derivation. So you can see this is a derivation. Okay, you can see this is a derivation. What are the length of this derivation? Can you tell me? Because remember our topic, this is an important topic, that is length of derivation, length of every derivation in cnf, length of every derivation in cnf. So you can easily see this is a cnf, and if you derive this string bc, then this is a derivation. Here you can notice a is going to bc, then b is going to b, then b is going to b, and then you can see this c is going to c. Okay, so you can see what the length of this derivation, tell me. Let me know what the length here, what the length of this derivation. Length of this derivation, that is 3. Yes or no? Because we are applying 3 rules. Yes or no? You can see the length of this derivation, this is a 3. We apply 3 rules here. So this is the length. Or I can say the length is basically the number of edges in this derivation. In this derivation, how many edges you have? So there are 3 edges. So you can see the length of this derivation, that is 3. But you can see this string. If you look at this string, the length of this string is 2. Okay, let me tell you that in CNF, for any string of length n, if you have in CNF, this is the simple point, that in CNF, for any string of length n, the derivation length will always be 2n minus 1. You can easily see here the length of this string, that is 2, and you can easily see I can write it 2n minus 1, where what is the value of n? N is 2. Okay, you can see the value of n, that is a 2. This is n. Okay, so we will prove it, don't worry. But I am just saying you, I am telling you that in CNF, in Chomsky normal form, the length of every derivation will always be 2n minus 1, where n is the length of the string which we are deriving. Okay, so very simple point. Let's see this question, the length of Chomsky derivation. So first of all, you tell me this grammar is in Chomsky normal form. This grammar, look at this grammar and tell me, is this grammar in Chomsky normal form? Yes, you can see variable going to two variable, variable going to two variable, variable going to single terminal. So you can see, yes, this is in Chomsky normal form. Okay, now let's derive this w equal to ABBA. Okay, let's see this w equal to ABBA. So let me derive this from this. So let's see this. Okay, from S, where I will go? S will go to A. You can easily see, because there is only one production with S on LHS. There is only one production for S, so I have to take it. So S will go to A. Remember which string I want? I want A, B, B, A. Okay. Now you can see where A will go. A will go to AB, because I want 4 length string. Okay. So you can see what I can do. I can do this A. This A can go to AB. Remember this A I am sending to AB, and already this A I have. Now what I want? I want AB BA. Okay. So you can see I got a b a. Now remember, a can go to a, b can go to b, but I want a b b a. I want 4 length string. So what I can do, this a I can replace with again a b, and already I have b a. Now what I can do, now remember, I am finding derivation. You can find any derivation. For example, now I can replace this variable with b. Okay, I can replace this variable with b. Then what I can do, then I can replace this variable with a b b a. Then what I can do, then I can replace this variable with a. I will get this point. And finally I can see that I can replace this variable with b. I will get a b b a. Tell me, what is the length of this derivation? You can see the length of this string, that is 4. Okay, you can see the length of this string, that is n, and that is 4. Okay, and tell me, what is the length of this derivation? This is the derivation of abba. So here you can see this is derivation. Let's call it derivation d. Okay, so tell me, what is the length of derivation d? That is, you can easily see how many edges are there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 7 edges are there. Or you can see how many rules you are applying. You can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, is this clear? How many rules you apply? For example, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 rules we apply. Or you can check the number of edges. Basically, the length of the derivation is 7, and that is what you can easily see, that is 2n minus 1. You can see 2 into 4 minus 1, that is 8 minus 1, that is 7. Okay, so this is what we are saying, that in Chomsky normal form, this is the benefit of Chomsky normal form, that in Chomsky normal form, the key advantage, the benefit is that every derivation, this is important, every derivation of a string of n length, that always has exactly 2n minus 1 steps. Okay, so every derivation of any string, that will always have exactly 2n minus 1 steps. Okay, so this is the point. Let me write it. Note that if you have a Chomsky normal form, let's assume you have a CFG context free grammar G in a Chomsky normal form. Okay, and let's assume there is a string w which belongs to the L of G. There is a string w which belongs to L of G, and let's assume the length of w, that is what, that is n. Okay, I told you in Chomsky normal form we cannot derive empty string, yes or no? Do you remember, in Chomsky normal form, if you have a Chomsky normal form, then in this only two type of productions are allowed, where we have variable going to a single terminal or variable going to two variables. So you can easily see in the Chomsky normal form, I can never derive empty string, yes or no? So basically in the Chomsky normal form, the string that I will derive, the length will always be greater than or equal to 1, yes or no? So this is the point, that here you can see if you have a grammar in Chomsky normal form, okay, and let's assume w is a string which belongs to the language of the grammar, w belongs to L of G, and length of w is n. Then remember, every derivation, whether you take leftmost derivation, rightmost derivation, okay, whether you take some derivation which is neither leftmost nor rightmost, basically you take any derivation you want. Okay, so remember, every derivation, every derivation of w. Okay, is this point clear? What I'm saying? I'm saying every derivation, leftmost, rightmost, any derivation. If you take a derivation which is neither leftmost nor rightmost, that will also have the length 2n minus 1. Basically, this is the point, that every derivation of w will have length exactly, will have length exactly 2n minus 1. Okay, is this point clear? So this is the idea. I hope you understood. So you can read this. We will prove it. Don't worry. We will prove it. So if you have a grammar, context-free grammar in Chomsky normal form, then for any string belonging to L of G, if you take any string which belongs to the language of the grammar, any string which belongs to L of G of length greater than equal to 1, this will have exactly 2n minus 1 steps in any derivation, in whatever derivation you take. If you take leftmost derivation, then also length will be 2n minus 1. If you take rightmost derivation, then also length will be 2n minus 1. If you take a derivation which is neither leftmost nor rightmost, then also length will be 2n minus 1. Basically, any derivation you take, that will have length 2n minus 1. Okay, so you can easily see. If G is a context-free grammar in Chomsky normal form and W is a string of length greater than equal to 1, then any leftmost derivation of W will have length exactly 2n minus 1. But remember, this claim is actually true for all the derivations. This claim is true for all the derivations, not only for leftmost ones. Means every leftmost derivation will have length 2n minus 1, every rightmost derivation will have length 2n minus 1, every derivation will have length 2n minus 1. Okay, understood? Tell me the answer for this question. Consider a context-free grammar G in Chomsky normal form and a string W of length n in L of G. Then which of the following statement is or true? We are saying every leftmost derivation of W has length exactly to n minus 1. This statement is true. Okay. Next, every rightmost derivation of string has length exactly to n minus 1. This statement is also true. Every derivation every derivation has length exactly to n minus 1. This statement is also true. Okay, is this point clear? So very simple point, remember that in the Chomsky normal form, every derivation of any string which belongs to the language, remember, every derivation of any string which belongs to the language, that will have length exactly to n minus 1. Okay, so this is the idea. I hope you understood. Now let's see the proof. The proof is actually very simple. So we will see the proof of this. Basically, what is the theorem? First you understand theorem, then we will see the proof also. So the theorem is very simple, that you have a context-free grammar. Okay, you have a context-free grammar G in Chomsky normal form. In Chomsky normal form. Okay, and you have a W which belongs to the language. You have a W which belongs to language, and the length of W, that is n. The length of W, what is that? The length of W is n. Okay, now in this situation, the theorem is very simple. The theorem is every derivation of W. Okay, any derivation you take, every derivation of W has always has length, always has length exactly 2n minus 1. Okay, so this is the theorem. Now what we will do, we will see the proof of it. The proof is actually very simple. That is the reason I am giving you this proof idea. Okay, because this is actually very simple. So let's see what the proof idea. The proof idea is like this, and you think about it and tell me. First of all, you tell me in CNF which type of productions are allowed. In CNF, which type of productions are allowed? We have this type of productions allowed where a variable going to two variables or a variable going to a single terminal. Yes or no? This type of productions are allowed. Now you just think about it. If I take a string of length 4, or if I take a string of length 5, whatever. For example, let's assume I take a string of length 4. I am taking a string. Let's assume some string A, B, A. Okay, so if I take a string of length 4, let's assume this W belongs to the language. Okay, let's assume this W belongs to the language. Now, what will happen? Just think about the parse tree, any parse tree. Think about the parse tree of W. You just think about the parse tree of W. Let's think about it. Parse tree of W. How it will look like? Can you tell me? The parse tree of W, how it will look like? The leaves will be your A, B, A, yes or no? For example, somewhere A will be there, somewhere B will be there, A will be there, yes or no? Somewhere A will be there. Do you agree with me that these will be the leaves? Yes or no? If you look at the parse tree, then these will be the leaves. This A, what this will be? This will be a leaf. Yes or no? All of them, they will be the leaves. So these are the leaf node. Okay. Now you tell me one thing. Now you can notice these are the productions that are allowed. Variable going to a terminal, or variable can go to two variable. Only these productions are allowed, remember. Okay, variable can go to two variable, or variable can go to terminal. So definitely some variable must be going to this terminal. Do you agree with me? Some variable. I don't know which variable. Okay, but can I say some variable will be definitely going to this terminal? Similarly, some variable will be going to this terminal. Some variable will be going to this terminal. Some variable will be going to this terminal. Remember, they can be same, they can be different. I don't know. Okay, is this clear? maybe they can be same. For example, it's like this, like s going to aa. Okay, yes or no? So remember, these variables can be same, different, I don't know. For example, maybe s is going to ab, maybe a is going to a, b is going to a. Okay, is this clear? So this is what I'm saying. For example, this variable, maybe these are different, maybe these are same, I don't know. For example, maybe these are variable aa, or maybe these are variable ab, I don't know. Okay, I don't care. But the point is very simple, that if you have this string you have, which is in the language. Okay, so consider the pass tree, any pass tree of this string w you consider, the leaf node will be a b a. Okay, and you can see these are the productions we allow in cnf, where a variable can go to terminal or variable can go to two variables. So definitely some variable will be going to a, some variable will be going to b, some variable will be going to a, and some variable will be going to a. They can be same, they can be different, I don't care. Okay, now what? Tell me what the next thing. Let me know. The next thing, you tell me, is it possible some variable can go to this variable? Is it possible? Just tell me this point. Is it possible some variable can go to this variable? Variable v2 going to v1. Is it possible? It is not possible, because you can easily see in the CNF, variable can go to two variable. A variable can go to two variable, or variable can go to single terminal. So definitely what will happen? There is a variable which is going to these two variables, and there is a variable which is going to these two variables. Agree? Do you agree with me? And finally, these are the two variables. So there is a variable which is going to these variables. Okay, and this your this will be your start variable. Yes or no? This will be your variable s. So now you tell me, this is the pass tree. So basically, think about any pass tree that will look like this. So tell me, in the pass tree, how many node will be there? In this pass tree, how many node will be there? Let me know. Look at this pass tree and tell me number of nodes in this pass tree. Total number of nodes. Number of nodes in this pass tree. And you tell me number of internal nodes, because these are the leaf node. You just tell me number of internal nodes. That is what? Number of internal node. This is an internal node. Internal node. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there are 7 internal nodes. Is this clear? Very simple. Okay. Now you just think about it and tell me, if your pass tree has 7 internal nodes, a very simple question I'm asking, if your pass tree has 7 internal nodes, or maybe, for example, if you consider any pass tree, if it has, let's assume it has 3 internal nodes, then tell me. Okay, or maybe like this. Okay, so consider this pass tree, and this pass tree has how many internal nodes? You can easily see 1, 2, 3, okay, 5. 5 internal nodes are there. So tell me, what will be the length of the derivation? If your pass tree has, okay, this is a simple question I'm asking. If your pass tree has n internal nodes, then what will be the length of the derivation? What will be the length of the derivation? Tell me. Simple question, nothing complicated here. Let me know. Tell me the length of derivation. If your pass tree is this, the length of derivation will always be equal to number of internal nodes. Yes or no? That will always be equal to number of internal nodes. Number of internal nodes. Okay, why? What the reason? You can easily see that length of derivation, this will always be equal to what? This will always be equal to length of internal nodes. You can think about it. For example, here you can see, because of this internal node, one length will come. See, this is going to somewhere, for example, maybe ab. Okay, this is going to ab. Are you getting my point? So because of this s, we got this. Do you agree? Do you agree with me? Okay, so you can see, because of this internal node, we got one length in the derivation. Okay, in the derivation we got one length. Next, you notice this a will go to somewhere. Okay, for example, maybe this a is going to somewhere, I don't know where. Okay, maybe this a is going to cd. So you can see, what I will do, this a will go to cdb. So you can see, because of this a, another length I got. Yes or no? Because of this a. Next, you notice this b, let us assume this is going to b. So you can easily see, because of this b, what I will get? I will get CDB. Okay, so you can see because of this B, one more length I got in the derivation. And then finally, you can easily see that because of this D, let's assume this C is going to A and this D is going to D. So you can easily see that because of this C, okay, because of this C, one more length you will get. It will be like ADB. And finally, because of this D, I will get one more length that will be ADB. Okay, so tell me what is the length of the derivation? The length of the derivation is equal to number of internal nodes in the past tree. Did you understand this? Please tell me. This is a very simple point. Let me know, is this point clear? So this is the point here. You can see in this tree, this is the past tree in the CNF. So tell me how many internal nodes? 7. So what will be the length of the derivation? So what will be length of the derivation? That will be 7. Yes or no? And your string has length 4. So finally here I can say the length of derivation. The length of derivation, that will be what? That will be 7. And that is what? That is basically, you can see that is 2 into 4 minus 1. Is this point clear? Please tell me. So this is not a complicated proof. This is very easy. I hope you understood. So the proof idea, remember the proof idea is very simple. If you have a string, okay, take any string which belongs to the language where the grammar, remember your grammar is in CNF, your grammar is in CNF, okay, and I'm taking a string which belongs to the language whose length is equal to n. Okay, then you can easily see if you consider any past tree, if you think about any past tree of this W, let's see any past tree of W, then tell me how many internal nodes will be there. If you think about any past tree of W, you can see here, okay, if you want, you can take some value. For example, let's take value 5. Okay, and you tell me for this value 5, how many internal nodes will be there. So you can see your W has length 5. So there will be how many leaves? So there will be, these are the leaf nodes. Okay, somewhere there will be basically 5 leaf nodes. Yes or no? Agree? So basically we will have 5 leaf nodes. You can see what this is the leaf node. These are the leaves. Okay, these are the leaves. Now you can easily see in the CNF we have this type of productions where variable going to single terminal or variable going to two variable. So you can see that if this is your terminal, yes or no, for example, maybe this is B. Yes or no? Maybe this is B, maybe this is B, this is A, maybe this is B, maybe this is A. Okay, is this clear? So this is what I'm saying, that a variable can go to a terminal or variable can go to a two variable. So definitely some variable will be going to this, 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 and some variable will be going to this. Now you can notice that these are variables. For example, this can be V1, this can be V2. Okay, they can be same, they can be different. I don't care. I don't know. Okay, they can be same, they can be different. Basically, these are the variables. It's like this. These are the variables, variable. Now you can see variable can go to two variables. So definitely there is a variable which is going to two variables. Yes or no? There is a variable which is going to two variables. Okay, there is a variable which is going to two variables. Whatever you do, there is a variable which is going to two variables. Yes or no? This will happen. And then finally what will happen? There is a variable which is going to two variables. So these two variables, a variable is going to two variables. Correct? You can see variable going to two variable is going to two variable. Okay, so a variable is basically, sorry, this cannot happen. Sorry for that. This cannot happen. Okay, so you can see a variable will go to two variable. There is a variable which is going to two variable. Okay, now you can see, of course I cannot do this, right? This cannot happen in the past tree. In the past tree, this type of thing cannot happen. Do you agree? Okay, you can see in the past tree, this type of, the two things are going to one. See, in the past tree this cannot happen, right? That two things are going to one thing. This cannot happen in any past tree. So you can easily see that these two variables you have. So definitely variable going to two variable. Okay, variable going to two variable. Okay, so what I need, I definitely need, like, there is a variable which will go to two variable, and then finally at the end there will be a variable which will go to two variable. Okay, this will be your variable as. So you can easily see, you can just think about it and you can see how many internal node will be there. So tell me what will be the number of internal nodes. Please tell me. If you have a string of length 5, how many internal nodes you can see here? You can easily see there will be 9 internal nodes. You can see 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes or no? So there are 9 internal nodes. And remember, number of internal nodes in the parse tree, that is same as number of length, basically length of derivation tree. Is this clear? Let me know. Please tell me. So remember this point. So this is a point that the for any string w, for any string w in any context free grammar, in any context free grammar G. Okay, so remember, for any string w in any context free grammar G, the if you create a parse tree, and from parse tree if you write a derivation, see, if you create a parse tree and from parse tree if you write a derivation, if you write a derivation, then remember what will happen. If your parse tree has number of internal nodes, that will be equal to the length of derivation. Okay, so what I can say, I can say number of internal nodes, number of internal nodes in parse tree, that will be equal to the length of the derivation. Number of internal nodes in parse tree, that will be equal to length of derivation. Okay, is this point clear? So anyway, just see the conclusion. The conclusion is very, very simple. Let me write the conclusion here. Let me write conclusion. So the conclusion is like this. Just focus on the conclusion. If you understood the proof idea, that is very good. If you did not understand the proof idea, do not worry. Let's see the conclusion. The conclusion is this, that you have a context free grammar G in Chomsky normal form. Yes or no? You have a context free grammar G in Chomsky normal form. Okay, and you have a string which belongs to the language whose length is equal to n. Okay, then these are the conclusion. The first conclusion is, if you create the parse tree, tell me how many leaf node will be there in any parse tree. In any parse tree, how many leaf node will be there in any parse tree for w? How many leaf node in any parse tree for w? Whatever parse tree you take, in any parse tree for w, you tell me few things like how many leaf node will be there. The first thing, number of leaf nodes. Number of leaf nodes will be n. That will be same as the length of w. Yes or no? Because leaf node means the length of w. Okay, yes or no? So you can see number of leaf node will be n. Tell me what will be the number of internal nodes. What will be the number of internal nodes? What that will be? That will be 2n minus 1. The number of internal nodes will be 2n minus 1. So you tell me the number of total nodes. The number of total nodes. What that will be? Internal nodes 2n minus 1. Leaf nodes n. The total nodes will be what? That will be n plus 2n minus 1. That will be what? That will be 3n minus 1. Yes or no? That will be 3n minus 1. Is this point clear? Please tell me. Okay, now you tell me one more thing. So you can easily see that number of, in any parse tree, in any parse tree of w, for w, you already know number of internal nodes. Number of internal nodes, that is what? Number of internal nodes, that is 2n minus 1. Okay, is this clear? And you know number of internal nodes, that is the length of derivations. That is the length of derivation. Yes or no? This is equal to length of derivation of w. This is equal to length of derivation. Length of derivation for w of w. Okay, so what that will be? Length of derivation of w, what that will be? That will be 2n minus 1. Is this point clear? Because number of internal nodes in any parse tree, in the parse tree, that will be length of derivation of w, that will be 2n minus 1. Okay, is this point clear? So two things they can ask, three things they can ask you, remember. They can ask you, for example, the number of nodes in parse tree. What that will be in parse tree? What that will be? Number of nodes. I am asking total number of nodes in parse tree. That will be, we have already seen 3 n minus 1, n plus 2 n minus 1. They can ask you number of internal nodes. What that will be? Number of internal nodes. That will be 2 n minus 1. And remember, they can ask you the length of derivation. The length of derivation. What that will be? That will be 2 n minus 1. Okay, so these questions they can ask you. I hope you understood. Please tell me, anyone has any doubt? Let me know. In this complete explanation, do you have any doubt? Very simple things. These are simple observations. See, if I give you any parse tree, okay, take any parse tree. For example, maybe one going to 2 3, 2 going to 3 4, okay, 3 going to maybe, okay, 5 6, 5 going to A, this going to B. Where basically any parse tree you take, if you create the from this, if you create the derivation, then what will happen? The number of internal nodes, this will be the length of the derivation. This will be the length of derivation. Okay, is this point clear? For example, consider this parse tree as going to AB, and let's assume A is going to A, B is going to B. Here you can notice these are the internal nodes, and you can see the length of derivation, that will be S going to AB. Then A can go to A, and then B can go to B. You can see what the length? The length is 3, because this is coming because of S. Here we are replacing this S. Then you can notice this is coming because we are replacing A, and finally this is coming because we are replacing B. Are you getting my point? Please tell me. So remember, number of internal nodes, that is basically the length of derivation. Yes or no? From this parse tree, if I create the derivation, then the number of internal nodes in the parse tree, that will be the length of the derivation. Okay, is this clear? And in the Chomsky normal form, what is happening? If you focus on Chomsky normal form, and let's assume you have a W, okay, whose length is, let's assume, 5, then you can easily see this is your W. Okay, your W is like this. For example, maybe like this. For example, A B A A. Okay, so you can easily see here what will happen, because you know that in the Chomsky normal form, these type of productions I have variable going to terminal, okay, variable going to terminal, or variable going to two variable. So what will happen here? Definitely some variable will be going to this, some variable will go to this, some variable will go to this, some variable will go to this, and some variable will go to this. Now these two variables will be coming from a variable, because variable going to two variable. Okay, so you can see these two variables will be coming from a variable. Okay, now what I can say, I can say these two variables will be coming from a variable, and finally these two variables will be coming from a variable. Okay, is this clear? So you can see how many internal nodes? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 9 internal nodes. And what is that? 9, basically that is equal to 2 into n. Okay, 2 into n minus 1. So number of internal nodes, that is a 2n minus 1. And now if I convert this parse tree into derivation, then number of internal nodes will become the length of the derivation. So length of the derivation will become 2n minus 1. Okay, so all these points, are they clear? Please tell me. These are future gate exam questions. Let me tell you, so far in the gate exam, some of these questions have not come. For example, so far in the gate exam, they did not ask you that in the parse tree how many internal nodes will be there. Let me tell you, in the gate exam, they have asked so far 3 or 4 times, they have asked that what will be the length of the derivation. The answer will be 2n minus 1. Okay, if you have a string W which belongs to the language in CNF, and the length of the W is, let's assume, n, then they have, let's assume, let me tell you, in the gate exam 3 or 4 times they have given this question, that what will be the length of the derivation, that will be 2n minus 1. Yes or no? But in the gate exam so far, they did not ask you how many internal nodes will be there in the parse tree for W. If you create a parse tree for W, then how many internal nodes will be there? This question has not come so far in the gate exam. Tell me what will be the answer? That will be 2n minus 1. Yes or no? In any context free grammar in Chomsky normal form, you can see, in any Chomsky normal form grammar, every parse tree, read this, in any Chomsky normal form grammar, all parse trees, remember, all pass trees for strings of length n will have 2n minus 1 internal nodes. Okay, is this clear? Very simple point. I hope you understood. Now let's move on. This is another future gate exam question. What will be the number of total nodes? What that will be? Tell me. Number of total nodes in the pass tree when the grammar is in CNF. In Chomsky normal form, in any pass tree, what will be the total number of nodes? That will be 3n minus 1. Yes or no? We have already seen the answer will be 3n minus 1. Why 3n minus 1? Because you can see n nodes will be the leaf. You know n nodes, these are the leaf plus 2n minus 1. These are the internal nodes. So finally your answer will be what? That will be 3n minus 1. So remember, in Chomsky normal form, whatever pass tree you take, the total number of nodes in every pass tree, that will be 3n minus 1. Okay, I hope you understood. You can create, for example, for this ABBA, if you create the pass tree, then the pass tree will have how many total nodes? That will be total number of nodes will be 3n minus 1. That means 3 into 4 minus 1, that will be basically 11. This will be the total number of nodes in pass tree. This will be the total number of nodes in the pass tree. And how many internal nodes in the pass tree? That will be 2n minus 1. That will be 2 into 4 minus 1, that is 7. These many internal nodes in the pass tree. Internal nodes in a pass tree. Any pass tree you create, these many internal nodes will be there. Any pass tree you create for this string, you can see 11 nodes will be there. Total number of nodes will be 11. That is 3n minus 1. And for this string, any pass tree you create, the number of internal nodes will always be 7. And the length of derivation will always be 2n minus 1. That is basically 7. Okay. So all these points, are they clear? Tell me the answer for this question. The number of nodes in pass tree when the grammar is in CNF. So if the grammar is in CNF, then what the number of nodes for a string of length n in any pass tree, whatever pass tree you take, in all pass tree, the answer will be 3n minus 1. This will be the total number of nodes. Okay, because n will be the leaf nodes, n will be the leaf nodes plus 2n minus 1. These will be the internal nodes. So that is the reason your answer becomes 3n minus 1. I hope you understood this. Let's solve this GATE exam question. Tell me the answer. This is GATE 1994 question. A grammar G is in Chomsky normal form CNF if all its productions are of the form variable going to two variable or variable going to a single terminal where ABC are the non-terminal and A is a terminal. So this is the definition of Chomsky normal form. Suppose G is a context-free grammar in Chomsky normal form. We have grammar in the Chomsky normal form, and W is a string which belongs to L of G of length n. How long is the derivation of W in G? The answer will be what? The length of the derivation in CNF. That is 2n minus 1. Yes or no? So your answer will be 2n minus 1. Now, some more things I can ask you here. What that will be? You can easily see your grammar is in CNF. Okay, grammar is in CNF. So you have a basically CNF grammar G, and you have a string W which belongs to L of G, and you can see the length of the W. What that is basically n. Okay, so here they can ask you 3 or 4 questions. For example, they can ask you that what will be the length of derivation, length of any derivation. Okay, any derivation of W. So what that will be? Whatever derivation you take, leftmost derivation, rightmost derivation, whatever derivation you take, if you take a derivation which is neither leftmost nor rightmost, then also remember, for any derivation, for every derivation, the answer will be 2n minus 1. This we have already seen, the proof also we have seen. Okay, so you can easily see. Now tell me, what another question they can ask you? They can ask you for this W, they can ask you for this W in any pass tree, in every pass tree, in every pass tree. They can ask you for this W in every pass tree, how many internal nodes will be there? Tell me, how many internal nodes will be there? For this W, in every pass tree, whatever pass tree you take, Okay, there can be many past tree. For example, if your grammar is ambiguous, remember, if our grammar is ambiguous, then this w can have more than one past tree, yes or no? This is the reason I'm saying that for this string w, whatever past tree you take, any past tree you take, or any derivation you take, remember, for example, if you take any derivation, then the length of the derivation will be 2n minus 1. You can take any left mode derivation, any right mode derivation, the length of the derivation will be 2n minus 1. Similarly, for this w, if you take any past tree, whatever past tree you take, the number of internal nodes will always be 2n minus 1, and the number of total nodes, that will be 3n minus 1. Okay, so this type of questions they can ask you. These are some variations. Tell me the answer for this question. This is GATE 1992 question. If G is a context free grammar, G is a context free grammar in Chomsky normal form. You can see G is in Chomsky normal form. W is a string of length L in L of G. You can see W is a string of length L in L of G. What is the length of the derivation of W? That will be 2L minus 1. Okay, so the answer will be option C. Again, what they can ask you? They can ask you the length of any derivation. That will be 2L minus 1. The length of left mode derivation, 2L minus 1. The length of right mode derivation, 2L minus 1. The length of every derivation, that will be 2L minus 1. And remember, for this string W, whatever pass tree you create, in the pass tree, number of internal nodes will be 2L minus 1, and number of total nodes will be 3L minus 1. All these points we have already seen in this lecture. Let's solve this question. This is GATE Computer Science 2025 mock test question by IIT Roorkee. IIT Roorkee has given a mock test for GATE Computer Science 2025, and in that mock test, this question is there. So tell me what the answer. You can see, let G, this is a grammar, be a context free grammar in Chomsky normal form with alphabet is ABC. V contains 10 variable symbols, including the start variable. W, this is the string which is derivable from S. The number of steps in the derivation. What is the answer? Tell me. The question is asking the length of the derivation. Okay, very simple point. Basically, this CNF is given to you. Okay, we have a grammar in the Chomsky normal form. This CNF is given to you. You can see Chomsky normal form. So you have a grammar in Chomsky normal form, and the question is saying that you have this string W, that is a power 30, b power 30, c power 30. This string you have. Tell me what is the length of the string? What is the length of the string? That is 90. Yes or no? Because you have 30 times a, 30 times b, 30 times c. It's like a 30 times, then b 30 times, then c 30 times. So the length of the string will be what? That will be 90. Correct? Okay. And the question is saying that this W is derivable from S. Okay, so remember, this W belongs to the language of the grammar. Okay, so this is derivable from S. Now the question is asking the length of the derivation for W. The length of derivation. You can take any derivation, remember, the length of every derivation, actually, the length of every derivation for W, what that will be? That will be 2 length of W minus 1. Yes or no? If your length of W is n, then length of derivation will be 2n minus 1. So what your answer will be? Answer will be 2 into 90 minus 1, and that will be 179. Okay, is this clear? So for this question, answer will be 179. Please tell me, did you understand? Very simple question. So we have seen Chomsky normal form. Please tell me, did you understand everything? In CNF Chomsky normal form, whatever we have seen in this lecture, did you understand? Mainly the important points, what are those? Those are definition of Chomsky normal form. Okay, let me remind you that Chomsky normal form has only two type of productions, where variable is going to two variables, or variable is going to a single terminal. Okay, so you can see this type of productions are not allowed, where variable is going to, for example, three variables. This is not allowed. Okay, variable is going to two terminals. This is not allowed. Variable is going to epsilon. This is not allowed. Okay, variable is going to a terminal followed by another variable. This is not allowed. Okay, I hope you understood. So only these two type of productions are allowed, where variable going to two variables. Okay, for example, variable s can go to ss. This is allowed. Okay, for example, variable a can go to variable AB, this is allowed. Okay, is this clear? Or A can go to BC, this is also allowed. Basically, variable going to two variable, variable going to a single terminal. These are the productions which are allowed in CNF. Okay, what another thing is important, that is, if you have a CNF, if you have a grammar is in CNF, okay, and let's assume this is a grammar in CNF, and you have a string W which belongs to the language, and length of W is, let's assume, n. Then three questions are important. The first question is, what will be the length of derivation for W? What will be length of any derivation? Means, if you find the length of any derivation, whatever derivation you take, leftmost, rightmost, any derivation you take, the length of every derivation for W, that will be 2n minus 1. Okay, and similarly, if you create any parse tree, so in every parse tree for W, the number of internal nodes will be 2n minus 1, and the total number of nodes, that will be 3n minus 1. Okay, so these some questions they can ask you in the GATE exam. I hope you understood. And this is very important question, that for any string W, for any string W which is in the language, remember, if you have length of W equal to n, then whatever derivation you take, the length of the derivation, length of every derivation will be 2n minus 1. This question is very important from GATE exam point of view. But these questions, like how many internal nodes in the parse tree, how many total number of nodes in the parse tree, these two questions they can ask you in future GATE exam. So far they did not ask, but in the future GATE exam they can ask you. So this is the complete summary of CNF, Chomsky normal form. Please tell me now, did you understand Chomsky normal form? Now we will study Grebec normal form. In short, we will call it GNF. So what is this Grebec normal form? In this Grebec normal form, which type of productions we allow? So let's see that. All the productions in the Grebec normal form must have this format, where a variable is going to a terminal followed by zero or more variables. So this type of productions we allow in the Grebec normal form. Or every production, all the productions must have this format, where a variable is going to terminal followed by zero or more variables. You can see k is greater than equal to 0. Look at this. A variable going to a terminal followed by zero or more variables. Okay, so this is the Grebec normal form. This type of productions are allowed in the Grebec normal form. Every production must have this format. So tell me, in GNF, which type of productions are allowed, which type of productions are not allowed? Can you tell me? In Grebec normal form. So let me repeat it, that every production, every production must have this format. Every production rule form, what that should be? Every production rule form should be like this, that a variable is going to a terminal. Okay, you must go to a terminal, some terminal, for example B, some terminal, and then followed by any number of variables. Okay, zero or more variables. For example, this production is also allowed. Okay, remember, this production is also allowed. V going to B and then V star, these are allowed. Okay, so basically it's like this. V going to a terminal, and then any number of variables, for example v1, v2, v3, these are also allowed. Okay, so what is not allowed in the Grebec normal form? For example, if your variable is going to two terminals, then this is not allowed. Okay, if your variable is going directly to variable, if your variable directly going to some variable, this is not allowed. If your variable is going to, like this, two terminals followed by a variable, this is not allowed. Okay, is this clear? Remember, a variable going to single terminal, this is allowed. A variable going to single terminal followed by any number of variables, this is also allowed. Okay, but remember, for example, a variable going to a terminal, then followed by some variable, and then again let's assume you are taking a terminal, this is not allowed. I hope you are getting. A variable directly going to a variable and then going to a terminal, this is also not allowed. I hope you understood. Please tell me, in GNF, what we allow, did you understand? Let me know. So the summary is very simple, that in the GNF, a variable can go to a terminal followed by any number of variables. Followed by any number of variables. Only this type of productions are allowed in GNF. That's it. Only this type of production. So you can easily see, every production in the GNF must have this format, a variable going to a terminal followed by zero or more variables. Okay. Every production must have this form. I hope you understood. So let's see the definition of Grebec normal form. Grebec normal form productions are of the form where a variable is going to a terminal followed by any number of variables. You can see alpha belongs to any number of variables. Okay. So look at this grammar. Tell me, is this in Grebeck normal form? As going to A, this is not allowed. Yes or no? This production as going to variable going to two terminals. This is not allowed in Grebeck normal form. This is also not allowed. Yes or no? This production is also not allowed in the Grebeck normal form. Okay, what about this? Is this allowed in the Grebeck normal form in GNF? Yes, this is allowed. Variable going to terminal followed by any number of variables. Variable going to terminal followed by any number of variables. Variable going to terminal followed by any number of variables. Variable going to terminal followed by any number of variables, zero or more variables. Variable going to terminal followed by any number of variables. Okay, so I hope you understood that this is in GNF, but this is not in the Grebeck normal form. Okay, what about this example? Look at this one and tell me, what about this one? Please tell me. Here also you can see this is also in the Grebeck normal form because variable going to terminal, single terminal followed by any number of variables, single terminal followed by any number of variables, terminal followed by any number of variables, single terminal followed by any number of variables, single terminal followed by any number of variables. Okay, is this clear? So very important. Remember, in the Grebeck normal form, we must have this type of thing like this. For example, this variable s, this is going to terminal, single terminal. You cannot have two terminals. Okay, single terminal followed by any number of variables, any number of variables. Okay, this variable, this should go to a single terminal followed by any number of variables, or single terminal followed by any number of variables. For example, this b should go to single terminal followed by any number of variables. Okay, it can go to like this, any number of variables. But you cannot do this that a is going to double a. This is not allowed. Okay, for example, if you do this b going to baa, this is also not allowed. And remember, if a variable is directly going to a variable like ab, this is also not allowed. Okay, so a variable should always go to a terminal followed by any number of variables. This type of thing should happen. V going to sigma v star. Okay, this should happen. You must have single terminal, then any number of variables. Tell me the answer for this question. In the Grebeck normal form, we have this type of production where variable going to single terminal followed by any number of variables. Can you generate empty string? Can we generate empty string? The answer is no. We cannot generate empty string. Why? What is the reason? Because you can see v going to epsilon. This is not allowed. This production is not allowed. Not allowed in GNF. Okay, is this clear? This is not allowed in GNF. Very simple point. So we cannot generate empty string. Okay. Now remember, just like Chomsky normal form, here also the same thing. We can say that if you have any grammar, if you have any context-free grammar, so let's assume you have a context-free grammar G in Grebeck normal form in GNF. Okay, in Grebeck normal form. So if you have a context-free grammar in Grebeck normal form, then what we can do? We can convert this. Okay, you have any context free grammar, G. Okay, any, you can take any context free grammar G. What I can do, this any context free grammar G, I can convert any context free grammar G, I can convert into GNF. I can convert into GNF. Let me call it G2, such that what will happen? You can see that in the Grebeck normal form, we cannot generate empty string. So the same thing here will happen. Remember, if you have any context-free grammar, whatever context-free grammar you have, you can convert into GNF. But what will happen? The empty string will be removed. Okay, the empty string will be removed. Everything else will be same. So here, if you have language, let's assume language is L. Here, if the language is L, then here in the Grebeck normal form, what will be the language? In the Grebeck normal form, the language will be L minus epsilon. Okay, is this clear? So very simple point. Read this line that for any context-free grammar, take any context-free grammar. For any context-free grammar, remember, there exists a grammar in Chomsky normal form, also in the Grebeck normal form, such that the language of the Chomsky normal form, or I can say the language of the Grebeck normal form, will be L minus epsilon. So basically, empty string will be removed. Okay. Now let's see the length of every derivation in GNF. In Grebeck normal form, what will be length of every derivation? Tell me the answer for this question. In the Grebeck normal form, a string of length n has derivation of how many steps? Tell me. Think about it. In the Grebeck normal form, I am asking, in the Grebeck normal form, if you have a string of length n, then what will be the length of the derivation? This is what I am asking. You can see length of every derivation in the Grebeck normal form. This is actually very simple. You just think about it and tell me. For example, consider any string. Let me give you a Grebeck normal form. Let me give you a Grebeck normal form G. Okay, and consider this string W, which belongs to L of G, whose length is, let's assume, 4. Okay, now you tell me what will be the length of the derivation. What will be the length of the derivation? You can see, let's assume you have this string. Consider this string is equal to AABA. Okay, so now you tell me what will be the length of the derivation. Very easy. We will start from the start variable. Okay, yes or no? Now you tell me, in the Grebeck normal form, which type of productions are allowed? In the Grebeck normal form, we allow this type of production where variable is going to a terminal, single terminal followed by any number of variables. Yes or no? Is this clear? A single terminal followed by any number of variables. So you can see this S. This S will directly give you a single terminal followed by any number of variables. So it must go to A because I want this string. I want this string A, B, A, B, A. This string I want. So S must go to A and then some variables. Yes or no? Some variables. Okay, some variables, for example, maybe some variables V1 and something. I don't know. Okay, this should go to somewhere. Then what should happen? Remember this V1, it will go to some terminal followed by some number of variables. Remember, in the Grebeck normal form, every variable will go to a terminal symbol, single terminal symbol followed by any number of variables. Okay, so we have already got this A. Now, this V1 should go to where? Remember, this A is already there. This A is already there. Now, this V1 should go to A. Okay, then something like V2 whole V2 V star. Then what should happen? This should go to B. Yes or no? A, B, and then something like this V star. And then what should happen? Then this should go to a terminal. Yes or no? A, B, A. Okay, and that's it. Yes or no? Is this point clear? Please tell me. That's it. We got this. So you can see that what will be the length of the derivation? The length of the derivation, that will be, you can see in every step. Can I say in every step we are getting one terminal symbol? Do you agree? In every step are you getting one terminal symbol? This important observation you make. In every step are we getting one terminal symbol? Here we are getting this symbol, here we are getting this symbol, here this symbol, here this symbol. In every step we are getting one terminal symbol. What is the length? You can see 1 2 3 4. Okay, so the answer will be what? The answer will be n. Exactly n steps. So the derivation length will be exactly n. Is this clear? Because just make an observation. The observation is very simple. If you have a Grebeck normal form and this is your string length n, then this note you can see that in every step, in every step of derivation, what will happen? In every step of derivation, in every step, one terminal symbol is created. One terminal symbol is created. Yes or no? Is this clear? It's generated, I can say. So you can see one step, every step will give me one terminal symbol. So you can see one step will give me how many? One step means one terminal symbol. One step gives me one terminal symbol. So how many steps will give me n terminal symbols? I want n terminal symbols. How many steps will give me? That will be n steps. Okay, is this clear? So that's it. This is the idea. I hope you understood. So remember, this is a point that in the Grebeck normal form, a string of length n has derivation of length exactly n. Is this point clear? Please tell me. So very simple point. If you have a Grebeck normal form GNF, okay, then if you take any string which belongs to L of G, where length of the W is equal to n, then remember the length of every derivation. I can say the length of every derivation of W. What that will be? Length of every derivation of W, that will be n. Okay, is this clear? That will be exactly n, not more than n, not less than n. The length of every derivation, whatever derivation you take, that will be n. Okay. Now one more question I want to ask you. Tell me the answer. In Grebeck normal form, the number of total nodes in the parse tree, what that will be? The number of total nodes in the parse tree. In Grebeck normal form, for a string of length n, the total number of nodes in the parse tree, what that will be? Can anyone tell me? This is also very easy. Just make some observation. This is also very easy. You have Grebeck normal form, okay, and I am saying that you have a w which belongs to the language. Length of w, let's assume the length of w is, let's assume for example 4 or maybe 5. Okay, anything you can assume. Let's assume this is the length 5. Now you tell me, just think about the parse tree. The parse tree will start from the start variable. You tell me which type of productions are allowed in the Grebeck normal form. Tell me, productions in Grebeck normal form, which type of productions are there? Only one type of production are there, where variable is going to a single terminal followed by any number of variables. Yes or no? So you can easily see here that I have this string w, length of w equal to 5. Let's assume w is equal to, okay, w is something like a b a a b. Okay, let's assume this is your w. Now what you can see, you will start from the start variable. Definitely, can you guarantee that this start variable will give you one terminal? Can you guarantee this? Tell me, this start variable, can you guarantee this will give you one terminal symbol? Tell me, can you guarantee this start variable will give you one terminal symbol? Yes, of course. We have already seen this, that you can see every variable, remember, every variable will give you one terminal symbol. So this start variable, what it will give you? You can easily see this start variable will also give you one terminal symbol. Every variable is giving you one terminal symbol followed by some number of variables. So this s will give you this terminal symbol. So remember, this is already given by s. This is already given by s. Okay. And then there will be something, I don't know. For example, maybe there is some variable a, there is some variable b, I don't know. Okay. Now you tell me what will happen. This a will give you what? Definitely, I can guarantee that this a will also give me one terminal symbol. Yes or no? This a will also give me one terminal symbol. So this will be given by a, because every variable is going to a terminal symbol followed by any number of variables. Okay, this type of productions are there. Whatever variable you take, this will first, it will give you a terminal symbol, then it will go to some number of variables. So this a will give you terminal symbol b, then it can also go to some variables, for example maybe c. Yes or no? Now again what will happen, this c will give you terminal symbol, this a will be given by c. Okay, this c will give you terminal symbol. Okay, then what this b can do, this b will also give you a terminal symbol, and then it can go to somewhere, and then it can give you a terminal symbol. Are you getting my point? So one very interesting thing you can notice here, see this a is given by b, and this b is given by d. Okay, very interesting thing you can notice here, that every internal node is giving you one terminal symbol. Can you notice? Can you make this observation, that every, just make this observation, that can I say that if you take one internal node, okay, any internal node you take, what it will give you? One internal node will give you how many terminals? One internal node will give you how many terminals? It will give you one terminal. Yes or no? One internal node will give you one terminal. Okay, take any internal node. Take any internal node. It will first give you a terminal, then it will go to some variables. Then it will go to some variables. Okay, so you can see this internal node will give you a terminal, then it will go to some internal nodes. Is this clear? So this is the idea, that one internal node will give you one terminal. I want n terminals. Then tell me how many internal nodes will be there? I want n terminals. Let me know. I want n terminals. How many internal nodes will be there? If I want n terminals, then there will be n internal nodes. Yes or no? Is this point clear? One internal node will give me one terminal, because you can see any internal node you can take. Okay, for example, this internal node you can take. This internal node will first give you a terminal. It will first give you a terminal, then it will go to some variables. Yes or no? Then it will go to some variables. That is the point. So the same thing I am saying, that one internal node. one internal node will give you one terminal. So if I want n terminals, the length of the string, the length of the string is n, so I need n internal nodes. So that's it. So finally what you can notice, in the parse tree what will happen. In every parse tree for w, what will happen? In every parse tree for w, whatever parse tree you take for w, what will happen? The number of internal nodes is n, number of leaf node is n. Leaf node is basically w. Leaf node is basically w. So you can see number of leaf nodes, that is n. That will be basically length of w. Yes or no? Okay, because leaf nodes are basically w. Okay, agree. And now tell me, number of internal nodes, what that will be? Number of internal nodes, what that will be? That will be n. Because you can see, if I want n terminal, then I need n internal nodes. Now you tell me total number of nodes. Tell me total number of nodes. That will be n plus n, that will be 2n. Okay, is this clear? Please tell me. So this is what I'm saying. So tell me the answer for this question. In GNF, the number of total nodes in any parse tree for string of length n, that is exactly 2n. Okay, is this clear? That will be exactly 2n. I hope you understood this. The proof is also very simple. I hope you understood. Okay, so let's see this. You can easily see in the Grebeck normal form GNF, the number of nodes in any parse tree, the number of nodes in any parse tree, okay, for a string of length n, for a string of n terminals, that will be exactly 2n, because there will be n internal nodes and there will be n terminal nodes. Okay, so you can see there will be total number of nodes will be 2n. So that's it. We have seen this. I hope you understood. Please tell me. So far, did you understand everything? Let me know. So we have seen the definition of GNF, the concept of GNF. We have seen. I hope you understood. Now let me give you some conclusions, some important results. So okay, these are the important results about CNF and GNF. CNF, GNF, Chomsky normal form and Grebeck normal form. So what are the important results that we need to remember? The first is definition. Yes or no? The first thing we need to remember is a definition. What is the definition of Chomsky normal form and what is the definition of Grebeck normal form? In the Chomsky normal form, every production is like this: variable going to two variables or variable going to a single terminal. Okay, is this clear? Next, you can see in the Grebeck normal form, we have this type of productions: a variable going to a single terminal followed by any number of variables. Okay, so this type of productions we have in the GNF. Okay, now what is another result that we need to remember? The proof we have seen in the lecture, we have seen the proof, but you tell me what are the results about CNF, GNF? You tell me about some results. For example, the length of derivation. Okay, the length of derivation. So let's assume you have a W. Okay, let me give you the length of derivation. Let's write it here. Length of every derivation, leftmost, rightmost, any derivation, whatever derivation you make. Okay, length of every derivation, what that will be? So here in the CNF, what it will happen, and in the GNF, what will happen? So let's assume you have a CNF G, and let's assume you have a GNF G. Okay, so you have a CNF G and you have a GNF G. Okay, and let's assume you have a W which belongs to L of G, where the length of W is equal to N. Okay, W belongs to L of G, where the length of W is equal to N. Okay, so tell me what will be the length of the derivation? That will be in CNF, the length of every derivation will be 2n minus 1. Yes or no? In CNF, length of every derivation. That is what? That is 2n minus 1. Okay, and here what is the length of every derivation? In GNF, length of every derivation, that is what? That is n. Okay, simple. Length of every derivation here 2n minus 1, and here length of every derivation, that is n. Because remember, in the derivation what will happen in the GNF? In every step one terminal symbol you will get. in every step. One terminal symbol you will get in every step. Okay, now you tell me about the number of nodes in the past tree. Okay, now let's see number of nodes in past tree. Number of nodes in a past tree. Okay, so you tell me, if your W belongs to the language and length of W is equal to N. Now you tell me, in GNF what will happen and in CNF what will happen? In CNF, what will be the number of nodes in the past tree? Total number of nodes in the past tree, what that will be? In CNF, the total number of nodes will be 3n minus 1. Yes or no? If you remember, I told you that will be n plus 2n minus 1. If you remember. Okay, in GNF, total number of nodes will be 2n. Okay, if you remember, that is basically n plus n. Okay, now you tell me how many internal nodes will be there. You tell me number of internal nodes. Okay, you tell me about number of internal nodes. So tell me number of internal. What will be number of internal nodes? I am asking only internal nodes. So you tell me in CNF the number of internal nodes will be 2n minus 1. In GNF the number of internal nodes will be n. Okay, yes or no? And tell me what about the number of leaf nodes? What about the number of leaf nodes? What that will be? That is basically your string, because on the leaf we have the string. Yes or no? On the leaf nodes we have our string. So in the CNF also n, in the GNF also n, the number of leaf nodes, because on the leaf nodes we have the string. Okay, our string length is n, so on the leaf node we have our string, so that will be nn. And the total number of nodes we have already seen, that is in CNF 3n minus 1, in GNF that is 2n. Okay, so that's it. So these are all the results about CNF GNF. I hope you understood everything. Okay, the proofs are also very simple, nothing complicated. You just apply the definition of CNF, apply the definition of GNF. The proofs are also very intuitive, but these results are very important. You should remember these results. Okay, I hope you understood. Now we will study the CYK parser. What is this CYK parser? Actually, the name CYK, this is based on three scientists basically. Okay, CYK. So these are basically the initials of three different people who gave this CYK parser. Okay, so let's see what is the CYK parser. This is not important for the GATE exam, but I am just telling you the result, the final result I am giving you, because this is not at all important for the GATE exam. Okay, so what the result here? Let me tell you the result. They might ask you, sometimes they can ask you the result, because remember this CYK parser, this is beyond GATE exam and this is not important for the GATE exam. Only the result they can ask you. And what is the result? Let me tell you. The result is like this. If you have a grammar in Chomsky normal form, if you have a grammar in Chomsky normal form, if you have a grammar and you have a string W, then how much time we will take to find out whether string belongs to the grammar or not? This is the question. I hope you understood. Very simple point. You have a grammar which is in Chomsky normal form. So for example, let's assume this is the grammar and we want to find this string is generated by this grammar or not. This string will be generated or not by this grammar. Then how much time will be taken? This is the question. If your grammar is in Chomsky normal form and you have a string and we want to find out whether this string is generated by this grammar or not, then how much time will be taken? Let me tell you, you can apply a CYK algorithm. There is a CYK algorithm, and using that algorithm within length of W power 3, or I can say within order of n cube, where n is the length of W. Okay, so within this much amount of time, you can find out whether this string belongs to the this string is generated by the grammar or not. Is this point clear? Very simple point. If you have a grammar in Chomsky normal form, okay, and there is a string whose length is, let's assume, n, then the question, what is the question? The question is, you find out whether this string belongs to the language or not. Okay, whether this string is generated by the grammar or not, and this is Chomsky normal form. Then what will be the time complexity? Let me tell you. The time complexity, you can use CYK algorithm. There is a CYK algorithm which is not important for the GATE exam, but you can apply the CYK algorithm, and within order of n cube, within this much amount of time, you can find out whether this string is generated by the grammar or not. Okay, is this clear? So basically, there is a order of n cube algorithm. This is what I am saying. Okay, this is the point, that there is a order of n cube algorithm. If your grammar is in Chomsky normal form and you want to find if a string is generated or not, then there is a order of n cube algorithm which can tell you whether this string will be generated by this Chomsky normal form or not. And that algorithm is called CYK algorithm. Okay, so that's it. This CYK algorithm, this is not important from the GATE exam point of view, so don't worry about it. Only this result is important that I told you. Okay, so this is our session. I hope you understood. In this session we have seen Chomsky normal form, Grebec normal form. I hope you understood everything. Please tell me, is there any doubt? Let me know. Okay, thank you everyone.